guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. There was an update last week that Chief Huff, Fruitland Police Department, for those that are not familiar with his name, but if you follow sweet little Michael Monkey Vaughan's case, you're very familiar with Fruitland Police and Chief Huff. This department has done an exceptional job in trying to find little Michael and bring him home, and as well as getting him justice. And they have Chief Huff stated that he forwarded the case again to the Fayette County DA's office. Now, he did forward it last summer, so I know a lot of you are going to be like, well, didn't he already do that? He did. And I think that they came up with a lot more tips and a lot more stuff came out because Stacy Wandra decided to do, early this year, decided to do a quote-unquote Stacy's World Tour of YouTube channels. And he first went on Brooks's channel, Crime Lines and Lies, which I'm going to play some of the clips. I'm going to kind of go through a little bit of the timeline that I think is becoming more clear. But I think between that, his interviews, and I'm not talking about all the channels because there's certain channels that are not, they don't trust law enforcement, and in my opinion, they are not for these victims. They're not for this family. And that's really sad because we should all be advocates for the victims. But again, I digress. This to me is all about Michael and bringing him home. That's what it's always been. And remember, Brandy Neal always, from the beginning, she's only thing that she's asked for is for folks who want to help to share his face, share the posters, just get him out there. And a lot of folks have done that. And there's a major amount of great people all over, from Idaho. I'm here in Florida. You got Oklahoma, California. You're even out of the United States. There's so many people who love Monkey and the sweet family. But we still haven't had answers, and none of us are detectives. We're not investigators. We're not crime scene techs. We're not the DA's office. We can't control finding out what happened to Michael. We can't arrest people. We can't prosecute people. But, I mean, of course, we try to put a lot of stuff together. And that's sort of what we do. But I don't solve crimes. Hell, I would have loved to become a detective, but I'm not. We're not detectives. That's just how it is. But again, so the case has again been put on the desk for the district attorney's office, and I really do believe through these interviews that Stacy did. He thought he was helping himself. Yeah. Okay. And if you haven't listened to him, again, I do recommend you listen to Crime Lines and Lies. Those were the original. And Brooks did an exceptional job. Justin for All, I believe he went on the lab. There's a few that I would not recommend. I won't say them, but there's a few I would not recommend. That said, I believe his talking again and folks listening to him talk and hearing him come out has brought in more tips. So I think it's only strengthened this case. against these 4 suspects: Stacy Wandra, Sarah Wandra, Brandon Shurtleff, and Adrian Lucene. And we're all starting to see the puzzle come together of what happened on July 27th, 2021. And it's time. It is time for Monkey to come home. It is time for justice to be served. What happened on July 27th, 2021, when Michael went outside? Michael Joseph Vaughan was abducted. Abducted. Say that louder for those in the back that seem to still not believe that one. On July 27th, 2021, from his neighborhood in Fruitland, Idaho. Chief Huff said they believe that Michael disappeared around 6:40 p.m. to 7 p.m. That is the window that when he was abducted. 6:40 p.m. was when Tyler Vaughan, Michael's father, said he was in a back bedroom tending to his daughter and ordering pizza on the phone. That was when he was changing Buggy's diaper, the little baby who's in the photo on the right with Michael, and he was ordering a pizza for the kids. It was then that Michael decided to leave the home and venture out into the neighborhood. According to Stacy Wandra, it was about this time frame, the 6:40 to 7 p.m. time frame, that he stopped to put power steering fluid in his vehicle, in his truck. In the car were also Sarah Wandra and Brandon Shurtleff, all 3 pictured below. Stacy claims he saw a child playing in a neighbor's yard on the sidewalk. And he goes into some detail and then changes his story multiple times. Allegedly, now this is in my opinion, the trio abducted Michael and left the neighborhood during this time period. They then drove to Brandon's mother's house, which is Tina, to quote-unquote tow a car back to their home. So this is something that Brandon and Stacy do agree on, that they went to Brandon's mama's house to tow his non-working vehicle back to the Wandra's house. So that seemingly happened, but along the way, they kidnapped someone else's child. The details from there, only the suspects know. And probably law enforcement has a lot that they do know as well. Where is Michael? Stacy? Where is Michael? Sarah? Where's Michael, Brandon? Where is Michael, Adrian? Your time is slowly waning. Eventually, the timer's going to go off and it's going to be too late. First to talk, first to walk.
As you know, from the time Michael went missing, this has been an all-hands-on-deck investigation, and it remains very active and an ongoing investigation. You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop. During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughan could be found in the backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland. Although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from the property. As of today, the whereabouts of his remains are unknown. However, the investigation is active, fluid, and ongoing. Evidence suggests that the following individuals who are currently in custody are involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughan. This is Sarah Wandra, 35 years old. Sarah lives at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Sarah has firsthand knowledge and is involved in Michael's abduction. Sarah Wandra is currently being held at the Payette County Jail for failing to report a death to law enforcement. This is Sarah's husband, Stacy Wandra, 30 years old, a male. Stacy was also living at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Stacy has firsthand knowledge and is involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughan. Stacy's currently being held in the Washington County Jail on unrelated charges. Now, the next individuals I'm going to introduce you to, this is Brandon Shirtliff, 30 years old, of Kuna, Idaho. Brandon was living with Sarah and Stacy Wandra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance, and we believe Brandon has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Brandon is currently believed to be in North Dakota. Adrian Lucian, 32-year-old male out of Toledo, Ohio. Adrian was staying with Sarah and Stacy Wandra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance, and we believe that Adrian has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Adrian's currently believed to be in Toledo, but floats between Ohio and California. I strongly encourage Shirtliff and Lucien to contact the Fruitland Police Department detectives as the window of time for talking and cooperation is coming to a close. This remains an active and ongoing investigation, with conversations taking place with the Payette County Prosecutor's Office about Michael's case and those individuals involved. We also believe that there are others associated with the Wandras, Shirtliff, and Lucy who may have knowledge of Michael's abduction, and I would strongly encourage them to come forward and speak with my detectives. When we finally reach the conclusion of this investigation, and I can assure you that we will, all of those who have knowledge of Michael's disappearance and have failed to report or hindered our investigation will be pursued. There's a moment in time to do the right thing and bring your information forward and cooperate. And that moment in time is now.
Now, you did mention seeing a child out by himself, but you didn't know that it was Michael.
Not at all. I mean, he wasn't in nothing. I mean, nothing. Yeah, I don't know who he is. You know, I didn't think it was out of the weird. You know, he was just being himself, being a kid.
Okay. I mean, do you recognize him now?
No, not at all.
Oh.
That kid did not depict Michael at all.
Oh, okay. So the timestamp was before you guys left to go tow the car.
No, the timestamp of when he went missing was it like 6 o'clock or 6:30 at night or 7. We left at 5:30. That's when they timestamped us leaving the neighborhood.
Okay, so when you saw the child playing, about what time was it?
I don't, you talking in reference to the child that was on his own?
Yeah.
I don't know. He was out there when we had left the house. But we never stopped other than to stop on 8th Street in Arizona to go fill up fluid, and that was it.
Okay, so you didn't talk to him or anything?
Not at all, no.
You didn't ask if he was lost or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Do you remember what he was wearing? What colors or anything?
Not at all. I know that it was not Michael. I can tell you that. I would have recognized the picture.
Well, you've seen it a lot, right? Okay.
Every day.
Okay, so let's go back to July 27th. And you're putting power steering fluid in.
Mm-hmm.
You see the child who you said does not look like Michael. Who was with you?
Who was in the truck was Sarah, Brandon, and me.
And who pointed out the child that was out?
I saw him. I don't know whether they saw him. The hood was up on the truck.
Okay, I got you.
But I can tell you that it did not match Michael's description.
And so if you see a child outside, and let's just say that he's out, playing by himself, let's say, I don't care, riding his bike, walking around or whatever, who recognized, I can't say recognized, who saw the child? Who said there's a child?
As far as I know, it was just me because there was as far as I'm concerned, it was only me. There was after I shut the hood, he was still out and about. So I take that back. No, Sarah did see him. So did Brandon, but we never thought anything different of it, and it was not Michael. Like I keep saying,
But when you were putting the power steering fluid in, that was at Southwest 8th in Arizona.
Correct.
Did the child approach the truck? Because you're working at the truck, and some kids get really curious.
No, not at all.
Was he standing or sitting?
Oh, he was playing with his he was playing with something, but it wasn't I'm sorry, I'm trying to recollect as best as I can for you guys. There was nothing I think I want to say he was standing.
Oh, okay. Was he in the street?
No, he was by houses.
Okay. But it's a safe neighborhood, right? So you're not worried.
Exactly. That's why I never thought second about it.
So he was by a house. Do you know the color of the house?
No, I didn't pay attention to that. Okay. Again, there was nothing, but nothing was, nothing was unusual about it at all. He was just doing his own thing.
Well, I wouldn't think so. Kids play outside. How far away from the street was he?
I was on the sidewalk.
Oh, he was on the sidewalk. Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't even in the street.
But he was by a house. Was it like
a whole stretch of houses?
At Southwest 8th in Arizona. Okay. About how many houses down did you see him?
I don't know. I could see him in the distance. You know what I mean? Like there was I could see the face, but I don't. There was probably 5, 6, 7 houses down.
Here's the map.
Yep.
Now, about where were you? You can see where the Vaughan family home was. Yep. You can see where you used to live.
Yep. So the bottom left corner, you see where the green patch is?
Yes, I've got my glasses on.
Okay, so you see that road that's right on top of the green patch?
Mm-hmm.
That's 8th Street. Now, the corner of the top right corner before the road, that is Arizona Street. We were parked on the corner of Arizona and 8th. He continued down that road. He was at least probably, like I said, 5, 6, maybe 7 houses down on the right, on the right hand side of the sidewalk.
Okay. So it was Southwest and 8th
Mhm.
in Arizona, not 9th Street. Again, I'm not from the neighborhood.
So, okay, take that top right corner, right, where 8th Street in Arizona is, right?
Mhm.
If you took a right and drove like you're going towards the bottom of that green pasture, okay, that road that's right before the second, you see that brown area right behind all those houses, right?
Mhm.
Not the far one, not behind where it says Vaughan's family home, but downwards, that patch right there. So that street, you can see the little street right there in between the houses and the other houses, right? You see that?
I do.
So that's 9th Street.
Okay.
So he wasn't even on 9th Street at all. He was off 8th Street.
Okay.
Like I
I'm
said,
looking on Google Maps, and the next street is Washington.
no, you're looking at the wrong road.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's what I get for trying to help.
No, you're looking at the road in the middle, correct? That's Washington Street is the one where when you pull into the subdivision, that's where you're looking at, correct?
So when you're pulling into the subdivision,
And that first road on the left should be Washington.
okay.
Take a left on Washington, and that first road on the right-hand side is 9th Street. But you pull off of I-95 and stay straight on south of 8th Street, that will take you on that straight stretch.
Okay, so when you saw the child and you were putting in the power steering fluid, this was at Southwest 8th in Arizona.
Correct.
Okay. So where you saw the child out playing,
Mhm.
was it between, because I'm looking at the map again on another screen, was it between Arizona and Washington?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you saw this child on the sidewalk,
Mm-hmm.
and from there,
Just carried on our trip to Cuna. There was nothing unusual about it. It was a safe neighborhood.
was he playing with a toy or anything?
I don't remember that specifically. It just seemed like he was just doing his own thing. He was just being a kid.
Well, I mean, how did you know the child was playing?
He was just doing his own thing. I don't know what else to say. There was nothing unusual about it.
Oh, no, well, I mean, it's an unusual day because it's a day that a child in the neighborhood was arrested. So, yeah, I mean, of course.
That's unusual, yeah. But up until a point where we found out about him disappearing was very normal for us. I mean, we saw kids playing outside all the time or doing their own thing, you know? I mean, kids would walk the neighborhood all the time.
Oh, sure.
It was a safe neighborhood, you know, or it was supposed to be.
I'm sure. I mean, did he have a trike or anything with him? You know, like a tricycle, bicycle, anything?
Not that I recall.
Okay.
Well, like I said, the kid that I saw did not depict Michael at all. In fact, the kid that I saw looked like he had dark hair, like very dark hair, like mine.
Oh, okay. Well, how old do you think that child was?
I don't know, like I mean, he was definitely a little taller. You know, he wasn't like it didn't look like a 5-year-old kid at all. I'd say if I had to guess age, maybe 7, 8, 9. I mean, he wasn't like a little kid. You know what I mean? Like he was. That's why I said it didn't concern me at all that he was out and about doing his thing.
You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop.
How dare you? How dare you let us sit here and suffer every day? And to let Michael suffer, not to be with us, to be with his family, to be where he's loved. To not step forward and own your truth. You're cowards. And I pinky promise. I won't stop. We won't stop. Our family, our community, law enforcement. The truth is coming. And you know it. I won't give up. I will never give up. Michael is coming home. I have said that from day one, and I will say it till my last breath. And I will make sure that Michael gets the justice he deserves.
I strongly encourage Shirtliff and Lucien to contact the Fruitland Police Department detectives as the window of time for talking and cooperation is coming to a close. We also believe that there are others associated with the Wanderers, Shirtliff and Lucien, who may have knowledge of Michael's abduction, and I would strongly encourage them to come forward and speak with my detectives. When we finally reach the conclusion of this investigation, and I can assure you that we will, all of those who have knowledge of Michael's disappearance and have failed to report or hindered our investigation will be pursued. There's a moment in time to do the right thing and bring your information forward and cooperate, and that moment in time is now.